Hello, namaste, Hare Krishna. So we've been going through a healthy routine and we got to breakfast and then we started to look at different body types, which determines what's the best food to be eating and what food to avoid, which may cause us to get off the healthy track and get sick. So we've looked at different body types, kapha, vata and pitta, and different combinations of those that we might have. And now I thought just to talk about a few more food related things that we want to be careful about. So the first one is wheat. So according to Vedic culture, wheat has been there, since day one of civilization. It's not just a new thing that we've been eating wheat. However, there's an interesting phenomena that, or anomaly, that people are becoming gluten intolerant. Because there's gluten in wheat, obviously, and some other grains, and people can't eat the grains that have gluten in it. And that's only come out, in the last few decades, and more as each decade goes on now. It seems like people can't eat anything with gluten in it. So what's going on there? So there's actually a lot of research that's been done that shows that it's not exactly that we're allergic to gluten, but we're allergic to the way the gluten is being processed. And that is in the growth cycle of the wheat plants. They spray so much herbicides and probably pesticides as well, but especially Roundup, so much Roundup, and the main ingredient of that is glyphosate. And that took off to another level of insanity in the 90s when Monsanto developed genetically modified wheat and soybeans and corn and different plants like that were able to tolerate being directly sprayed with glyphosate, with Roundup. So that was just the next level, and then so much more herbicides were used from that point of genetically modified plants being able to tolerate all that crap on them. Then they just got sprayed more and more and more as those years have gone on until now. So basically they're being doused with these toxic sprays right from the beginning of their growth cycle right to when they harvest them. So there's a lot of research that's giving evidence that actually the symptoms of gluten intolerance are very closely linked with the symptoms of being poisoned by glyphosate. So, and they've got graphs where the graph of gluten intolerance increasing exponentially is also the same graph. If you put the graph of the glyphosate usage, it's pretty much the same graph. I just saw it, and it's ridiculous how we're being cheated like that. So please don't blame the poor old wheat. It's us stupid human beings that just pour poison everywhere like that. So what I recommend, you don't have to give up eating wheat, but try to get organic wheat. So we here in New Zealand, we get 20 kg bags of organic wheat from the South Island of New Zealand. So luckily it's grown in the Canterbury Plains in New Zealand. Some nice guys there are growing organic wheat. So that's where we get it from. And we get it shipped up. It's cheaper if you get a big amount. Whole wheat So you can get the organic wheat flour, but what I'm going to say now, this is another thing about wheat and other grains too, is that, I mean, it's such a miracle food. Actually, no wonder why humans have been eating wheat since day one. That apparently research has shown that out of the 44 essential nutrients that a human body needs, 40 of them are available from wheat. So no wonder we've always been eating wheat. And however, within 24 to 48 hours of grinding that whole wheat into flour, like 90% plus potentially of those 40 nutrients is like evaporated, is lost, So the secret is you got to grind it as you want it. So you need to get whole wheat or other whole grains too, and have a flour mill and grind it as you need it. And if you've got a bit left over, you can keep it in the fridge. If you keep the freshly ground flour in the fridge, it'll still be good for some days like that or more. And then you can do it. And we're actually doing that. So I'm not just talking theory. We get the whole wheat, we have a flour mill, we grind it, and we use it. Today my wife ground some flour and she made some breads called parathas with it, and they were really yummy. And we know that it's good for us because we're not getting the glyphosate in our system. And also we're getting all the maximum nutrients by grinding it fresh. So those are just some things you can do and still enjoy your wheat without having all those nasties, come to you as well. And it's worth it. It's worth a bit of the effort and the time and money to get that healthy. Because wheat is such a massive thing that people consume, and if it's all full of these nasty chemicals, then we're causing so many health issues like that. So yeah, it's worth investigating that. Look into it yourself. If you got the extra money, it's worth getting a flour mill. It costs a bit. I think our one costs us about $800 or something. We bought it online, and it's made in Germany, this particular one. And but yeah, hopefully we'll have it for many years or decades. And stone grind the flour, and it's very, very satisfying to do that. Otherwise, yeah, maybe we should avoid wheat. If you can't do that, maybe we should avoid wheat, which is a shame. And then another subject I want to talk about is yeast. What's the story with yeast? Commercial yeast. So most bread that we buy has got commercial yeast, and there's fungus in the air everywhere, which is yeast. Everywhere, naturally occurring yeast. But the problem with the most bread is that it's commercially produced, so it's not a naturally occurring yeast. So what tends to happen when you stuff all that, man-made yeast in your body, it doesn't get digested properly, so it actually can grow in your body. And you know about people get eczema, right? So you get these rashes, so many strange-looking rashes on your hands, on your feet, different places, and it gets really itchy and everything. Well, often those rashes are because of that undigested fungus yeast is growing in the body. I don't want to scare you, and not everyone gets rashes that eats commercial bread, but some people, especially if they don't have a very strong digestive system to handle that sort of foreign yeast, then they may get these problems. And I know even some of my own family members who eat a lot of bread, as most Kiwis do, they get eczema. So does that mean, we can't have bread? Sourdough, that's a naturally occurring yeast. So many of the old cultures, they use naturally occurring yeast. It's only recently that we've made this commercial yeast because, once again, we want to make maximum profits, and we don't give a stuff about everyone's health. We just want to make money out of, you guys. So we'll sell you any old rubbish. But previously, people used to just mix flour and water together, leave it in a warm place for 24 hours or whatever, and presto, yeah, it rises up naturally from the yeast in the air. And even in India, right, they do the same kind of principle with grinding rice and dal together and leaving it in a warm place, and it ferments and bubbles up and everything, and they make things called idlis and dosas and uttapams like that. Dokla is made with some semolina and different things. Chickpea flour, dokla is there. In Gujarat they do that. And in Germany, of course, like I said, the sourdough bread and that, it's brilliant, tastes amazing. When I was studying as a young lad at university, one German classmate, he made this wicked sourdough bread, and I loved, gorging on that. And yeah, it's just so tasty and so healthy. And so that's what we want to do. It's all about living a more natural life in harmony with all the natural ingredients that Krishna, the Lord, has provided and everything, and getting away from all this artificially, highly processed everything that just causes sickness. And that leads us on to the next subject of oil, what's the problem with oil? Oh my God, now we can't have oil. No, it's just that a lot of oils that we buy in the shops are highly refined, highly processed. See, the problem with oil is, well, it's not really a problem, but the fact of oil is that most seed oils, you squeeze the seed, right, and you collect it in a pot. I'm just simplifying it. And then that's really good. You can use it for your cooking for like 3 to 6 months. And then after that 3 to 6 months, what will tend to happen, it goes rancid, which basically means it goes bad, it goes rotten, it starts to smell and everything like that. And then you have to throw it away. So it's only good while it's fresh. Like we said, the wheat also, it doesn't last forever. It's best to have it fresh. So same with oil. So that's not good for business. If it goes bad in 3 to 6 months and then you have to chuck it away, you can't sell it. So what they've done, they have a process of refining the oil, which is called hydrogenated. So they hydrogenate the oil, change the molecular structure, which what that's doing is instead of it lasts for 3 to 6 months, it'll last for 2 years on the shelf, or whatever, 2 to 3 years or whatever. Or maybe it never goes bad because it's so rotten that the bugs won't eat it. That reminds me that talking about things won't eat it, that you can do an experiment with butter and margarine. Put the butter outside, put the margarine outside, and you'll notice the butter is probably not there the next day. So many creatures have carried it away. And then the margarine is like untouched. Because only human beings are stupid enough to eat margarine. It's apparently only one molecule different than plastic. So nothing will touch the margarine. But we're so dumb. When we were young, that we were told that by the mainstream media that butter's bad for you, and that margarine's the best thing since sliced bread. Eat margarine. So people shifted over to that. And now, if you hear what they say, it's that margarine's bad for you, go back to eating butter. So we should have just stuck with the butter, So, yeah, the more we process things, it just becomes toxic and poisonous and unrecognisable to the digestive system and everything like that. So, yeah, we follow the KISS formula here, keep it simple, stupid. So we've become so stupid, complicate our lives. We should just get back to having a more simple life. Definitely. So, yeah, watch out for all those highly processed oils, hydrogenated oils. It produces something called trans fat, which a lot of people have heard about, and that's what they worry about is causing, cholesterol and all this kind of stuff, is all this trans fat blocking the arteries. So all that's coming from all this highly refined oils. So just avoid those. So what kind of oils are those? It's most of the canola oil is hydrogenated trans fat, sunflower oil, soybean oil, and like that. All the big ones, sunflower, did I say that? Most of vegetable oil. So most of these big mass production oils, they'll be, tempered with hydrogenated like that trans fat. So dodge those. So what we recommend, and I've done a lot of research on this, the best oil fat for the body is ghee, clarified butter. So it's on our Facebook page too, even if you go back, even how to make, how to go from cream to make your own butter, and then from how to go from butter to make your own ghee, or you can just buy ghee. It's quite expensive. I mean, it's a lot more expensive than canola oil, but if the ghee makes you live longer and the canola oil finishes you off very quickly, then and painfully, then what would you rather do? You know, spend the money on the ghee or not? It's up to you. So, but of course, some people are vegans and that they won't take ghee, and that's fair enough. So the next best one, according to the research I did, is coconut oil, which is also, they're both saturated fats, and they last for a long time. It's not going to go bad in 3 to 6 months. It's saturated fat. It's gonna last for years like that if you keep it dry and everything like that. And it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit coconut flavour, the coconut oil, but I mean, who cares? You know, what's wrong with coconut flavour? And if it's good for your health, then that's great. And once again, it costs more than your canola oil rubbish, but yeah, that's what you pay for having good health. You know, otherwise you save money on the canola oil and spend money on all your, you know, operations. So take your pick. Yeah, so that's a little bit about oil. Other ones, I mean, also, you know, if you ever get to the point where you can make your own oil, like I said, press the seeds, I mean, then you're, you know, number one. You know, we bow down to your feet if you can, you know, produce your own oil. I mean, some people do that. Like I know some local persons, they harvest their olives, they grow olives, and they take it to there's a local place up here north where they press the olives, and then they just walk away with their own, you know, homegrown, you know, olive oil, freshly squeezed olive oil. So there are ways you can do the whole process yourself too, which is just first class. I mean, you can't get better than that. So that's another good one. But of course, olive oil is not recommended for heating high temperature. So we would never deep fry with olive oil. We would never fry spices in olive oil. But it's good for a salad dressing. It's brilliant for a salad dressing or something like that for low temperatures. Olive oil is fantastic. And if there's any other oils that are not, you know, highly processed, maybe sometimes mustard oil is okay. Maybe sometimes sesame oil is okay. Maybe sometimes peanut oil is okay. You know, but you just have to check, you know, how it's been processed like that, and take it from there. But 100% ghee is like no worries, and coconut oil is very good, like that. So that's about that. And milk. Okay, what's the story with milk? Of course, once again, from day one, people have been drinking milk. Anyone that says otherwise, that humans have only been drinking milk recently, that's a load of BS. You know, so in Vedic culture, there's histories of people drinking milk millions and millions and millions of years ago. So that's a lot of hogwash if they say, you know, we haven't been drinking milk very long. But suddenly, you know, heaps of people getting lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerant means you can't drink milk. You know, so you start to get mucus and coughing, and your body parts hurt and everything like that. I'll tell you what, I got a friend that works in Fonterra. Fonterra is the main company that processes all the milk in New Zealand. And he said all the milk in New Zealand, pretty much nearly all of the milk in New Zealand, you wouldn't believe this, listen to this, gets turned into milk powder, and then they turn it back into milk. Can you believe it? Is that complicated or what? It's like trying to eat like this. This is so complicated. You turn the milk into milk powder, and they turn it back into milk. So then from the milk powder, then create your low fat by adding water, non-fat, skim milk, you know, blue top, homogenized milk, blah, blah, blah. The only one they might not do that to is the silver top, which is full cream, which is the full cream silver top. They might not have turned that into milk powder. So if I was going to get milk from a shop, which I don't, if I was though, I would get the organic milk, full cream, unhomogenized milk, or silver top, which is probably not going to be organic, but at least it probably hasn't been turned into milk powder like that. And Yeah, the other thing is the homogenizing process. That basically means they smash all the milk molecules to bits so they're all the same size. Because you know how you get blobs of fat? So they don't want that, right? Because they want it to all be smooth and everything like that. Oh, what's wrong with that? That was the best part, was the creamy bits. But anyway, they don't want big lumps and stuff. So they smash all the particles, and that's called homogenizing, means all making the same. But what that does, that gets into parts of the body it shouldn't be getting to, because they've smashed it up so small that it goes into places the milk shouldn't be getting to. So no wonder why people get sick if they drink, it's been so highly processed, milk powder to milk, and then it's, skim, non-fat, everything like that. The body needs fat. Come on, the body needs some fat. It's a healthy fat, and then homogenizing like that. No wonder why people are lactose intolerant. So we're not actually allergic to the milk. It's just all the complicated processing, making an unrecognizable, thing with no nutrient dead substance like that. So how do you get around that? Like I said, get the organic or the full cream, or talk to your local farmer. Talk to your local farmers. Some farmers don't sell raw milk, but some do. Some do. So look around. When I first moved here, I make friendships with all the local farmers. I've talked about that before. It's essential for self-sufficiency. Make friends with all the locals, especially the farmers, and they have so many wonderful things that we can benefit from. All the organic material and fertilizer and everything like that, and the milk. So yeah, and I found a farmer that sells raw milk, and the people give him $1 a litre, which is good for him, because guess what Fonterra give the farmers? It's like 30 cents or something a litre. Ridiculous. They work from before dawn till after dusk, 365 days a year, and they get like 30 cents a litre, and we pay $2.50, $3 a litre in the supermarket for eating rubbish, so highly processed. It's just ridiculous. So it's win-win. We save money because instead of paying $2.50 a litre for rubbish, we pay $1 for really good stuff. And then we make our own yogurt, we make our own butter, we make our own ghee, we make our own paneer, make sweets, drink hot milk, everything like that. The only thing I would say about getting raw milk to be careful with is don't drink raw milk. You have to boil it. You pasteurize it yourself. You pasteurize it yourself, but you just have to bring it to the boil for a second before you drink it. You can keep it as raw milk in the fridge and then boil it as you use it. Or when you get it, you boil the whole lot, cool it down, and then put it in the fridge. So either way, take your pick which way you want to go. But we normally keep it raw in the fridge, and it lasts for about 5 days or something. And then just boil it as we use it. But please never drink raw milk. The only time you can drink raw milk is if you're milking the cow and you drink that milk within half an hour or so of you milking the cow. Then there's not going to be a massive amount of bacteria in there. There is a danger if you drink raw milk that after it's been milked, 2, 3, 4 days ago or whatever, that there's a lot of bacteria in there. 99 times out of 100 it might be perfectly fine. But it's that once in 100 times, and I'm telling you this from personal experience. When I was young, hearing that raw milk's really good for you, I was drinking raw milk, and I was fine 99 times. But it's that 100th time nearly killed me, and I'm not exaggerating. I had stuff coming out of all the holes in my body. Do I have to be more explicit? So it was a terrible experience. As in my 20s, and I was healthy then, and it nearly finished me. So actually one child died in Australia while we were there. A mother in Melbourne gave the kid raw milk and killed the kid. And after that, I think they banned selling raw milk in Australia. So in India, no one in their right mind would drink raw milk, because in a hot country it's even more dangerous because the bacteria can just expand exponentially. So yeah, that's the problem with drinking raw milk. Sure, there might be a few extra nutrients if you have it raw, but yeah, only do that if you're right there when the cow's milked, and just drink it straight. but don't cart it around and have it days later. That's just stupidity. That's just stupidity. So it's better to have a safe product, even if there is a few less nutrients. And just boiling it for a second is not going to destroy all the goodness. And then it's just completely safe for everyone to take like that. And the last but not least thing is peanuts. What's the story with peanuts? Peanuts, once again, people have been having peanuts forever. And only recently, people are like, peanut intolerant. Oh my God, no, another one intolerant. We're intolerant to everything. Because guess what? Guess what's the problem? That's us again, putting the bloody chemicals. So, for example, in India, they'll grow a crop of cotton. And I saw that when I went to India. I'd never seen it before. It's plants with these little fluffy white balls all over it. And yeah, that's cotton, I found out. And then, so they have to use some sprays to grow the cotton. And then cotton doesn't like growing in soil that's saturated with chemicals. So somehow they have to get the chemicals out of the soil before they plant the next crop of cotton. I wonder, how are we going to get the chemicals out of the soil? I know, we'll grow peanuts, because peanuts have the ability to absorb chemicals. The peanut goes into the soil and grows underneath the soil surface. So it has the ability to suck up chemical residue. So brilliant. Then you can grow your next crop of cotton and it'll grow well without all that chemical residue there. But now we have all these peanuts. What are we going to do with them? I know. We'll sell them to you guys. You know, so that's what's happening. So then we eat those peanuts, and no wonder why. You know, even in Australia, we catered for an Indian wedding. And Indians, they all eat peanuts. Well, in the past anyway, they all eat peanuts. I never had heard about someone from India that couldn't eat peanuts. So in our restaurant there, we never use peanuts because some Aussies are allergic to peanuts. We thought, Indians, you know, no one's allergic. So we put peanuts in made a gravy with like ground up peanuts. And one young Indian there in the wedding, he just stopped breathing. You know, he had to be rushed off by his parents to the hospital. I hope he didn't die. I didn't exactly find out. But it's extreme, you know. So from then on, we don't even feed peanuts to Indians, you know. So, but that's what it is. There's nothing wrong with the peanut. It's how the humans are growing it with all these chemicals and everything. So that's another thing. We only get organic peanuts, organic peanut butter, or we get organic raw peanuts from India. And like I mentioned in the last post, that I'm planning to try to grow the peanuts myself from these raw peanuts, grow them myself, and it's possible. It's been done in New Zealand, so where there's a will, there's a way. Otherwise, better not to eat peanuts, you know, if you can't get it organic, because it's not worth loading your body up with these chemicals. And then you just keep having to spend your whole life just detoxing. The food that you eat is so toxic, and then you have to eat other food to detox from the food that's toxic. So it's like, put in toxins and then detox. Put in toxins, then detox. So if you don't want to spend your life just detoxing, then you know, stop eating rubbish. And just finally, the good news is that apparently once you stop adding in more glyphosate and other chemicals into your body itself will remove them. So it's not going to be in your body forever. The main thing is to stop adding in newer and newer chemicals in there, and then your body will flush it all out. Your body's got an amazing detoxing system, the kidneys and liver and all this kind of stuff. And we just got to stop adding more crap into the body, you know, like that. Then it'll be okay. So let's just see. Chase has written something. You say raw milk lasts approximately 5 days in the fridge. So when you boil it, does it last for another 5 days in the fridge? No, I wouldn't do that. I would say it might extend it for another few days at the most. But try not to push it too far. I mean, it might be fine for another 5 days. It might be. but still it will lose its nutrients. It will lose its beneficial qualities. So even if it's not going to hurt you, but you might not get a lot of benefit from it if it's so old. So better to get a smaller, and the farmer's milking every day, so as long as it's not too far to go, then just go to the farmer every 5 days or so. That's what we do. We go to the farmer every 5 days, and he's got fresh milk going into his milk vat, all the time. So like that. So I mean, you do what you like. I mean, you might, extend it. But like I say, you're just running more risk the longer you keep it. Because things like milk, they're so nutrient dense, all the bugs love them too. Not just humans love milk, but the bugs love the milk too. So anything like that, same with sugarcane juice. The sugarcane juice, which we're producing ourselves too, they only recommend that for about 3 days in the fridge. It's so nutrient dense, it goes off real fast. So you can extend it by adding antioxidants like lemon juice or lime juice and the sugarcane juice, and that will extend its shelf life for another, 2 or 3 days. But why leave it so long? Just have it fresh as you need it. That's so much better. We should just get more into fresh food. Even if you can avoid keeping stuff in the fridge for a long period of time, because that's not natural either. Just keeping your veggies and your fruits and everything in the fridge for days and weeks and months, in the freezer, that's also, not natural. And you're not going to get the full benefit out of the food after it's been sitting in the fridge for too long. So I wouldn't recommend just stretching it out more and more and more. And then the question is, let's have a look. Are plant milks unhealthy? Plant milks means what, like soybeans, soy milk? Is that what you mean? Well, actually, according to the Vedas, soy is not meant for human beings. Sorry to say that soy is not meant for human beings, and they only would use it for animals. In a more Vedic culture, they would only feed things like soy to animals. And even some research has shown that it destroys some brain cells. The soy, some of the things in the soy destroy brain cells, and even your reproductive system, wreck some things in there. But yeah, I mean, it could be worse things. Yeah, so you've said soy. Almond milk, that wouldn't be a problem. Oat milk, no problem. Yeah, rice milk, it's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yep, those things are okay. Coconut milk, yep. Coconut milk's good, yep. Yep. Yeah, those things are all good. But like I say, if you're buying them, just look on the packets, because you'll find a lot of them, they add like stabilizers and artificial flavorings and sugar and all kinds of stuff. That's always the problem. If you're buying it, it's all those additives like that. And just be aware also that if the packaging has got like aluminium in it, aluminium foil or plastic, then you're getting like microplastics in your food too, microplastics and aluminium, some aluminium from the aluminium foil and stuff like that. So whatever the coatings are of their packaging and everything. So yeah, I mean, we can't expect a perfect world, but just try the best you can. Just try the best you can. And I keep my milk in a stainless steel container. Like that, take the milk in a stainless steel container and just try to avoid plastic as much as you can, and then transfer it into glass bottles, transfer it into glass, just try to avoid all this plastic packaging and so many things like that. So yeah, these are just things to consider. Anyway, thank you, Chase, for your questions, and hope this meets you in good health. Yeah, it's a mission. It's a mission in today's society to to keep ahead of it all, to keep our health. But where there's a will, there's a way, and knowledge is power. So yeah, this knowledge can help us to avoid the trappings of modern society and just try to get back to a more simple, natural existence. Okay, take care everyone.